I was able to quit a six-figure job in 3 months. A lot of people treat YouTube as a hobby. You cannot.
A lot of people just don't see the behind the scenes. And that's one of the reasons we created this podcast.
Go put in the hard work to learn YouTube, get your channel started and make it amazing, and you'll have a wonderful, easy life.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Creators Uncut. Super excited for another episode. Today's guest is Scott Curry from We Profit Day and Night with Stock Curry. Scott, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me on. I can't wait to share with your listeners how to find so much success so quickly without having to wait forever.
Yeah, definitely. So like we always do every time, we like to get to know our guests a little bit first before we dive into all of the YouTube details and all of that. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and about your YouTube channel, or should I say channels?
Yeah, there's quite a few. I've got two that are pretty active. So the main one that most people know me by is Stock Curry. And that YouTube channel is called We Profit with Stock Curry. And it's all about how to invest in the stock market, how to trade stocks and options with a little bit of crypto thrown in there as well. That channel has been quite successful, about 75,000 subscribers. Made me more money than I could have ever imagined, but had to get pretty creative to make that happen. And then last month, I started another one that I'm now active on called Faith Roar, where I'm actually teaching people how to start a business and how to start and grow YouTube channels. So those are the two main ones I'm focused on right now. And for me, it's all about helping people achieve financial freedom with We Profit Day and Night through that YouTube channel in stocks and investing. And now with Faith Roar by starting your own business and YouTube channel.
That's awesome. I love that you're here to help, because it can be confusing to get started with stuff. So so how did you get started? How did you start your stock investing channel?
Well, it goes back many, many years. So about 10 years ago 12 years ago, when my boys were about 3 years old, one day I was leaving for work and we had a gate up at the top of the stairs, and my two 3-year-olds, actually, they had to be younger than that, two maybe. They run up to the top of the stairs, hit the gate, and they're twins. And I got these two twin boys sitting at the top of the stairs, holding on the gate, crying their eyes out, begging me, saying, "Daddy, please don't go. Please don't leave us." And it absolutely broke my heart. But I had to go to work. I had a job. And so from that day onward, I was committed to finding some way, somehow, to become financially free so that I could stay home with my kids. From there, I tried a couple different things. Tried an MLM, didn't really work out that great. Did some motivational speaking, started to have some success with that. Thought I was going to become this big keynote speaker traveling all over the world. And then COVID hit, and there were no speaking engagements. There were no events at all.
Yeah.
And I was stuck. I was like, okay, still working and get a job. What am I going to do? How am I going to get free? And so I said, well, let me take some of the success I've had in this, as well as some other businesses, like a school uniform company I started, and let me just kind of share with people kind of how to get a business started. So created a YouTube channel, started sharing that, and it went nowhere. I mean, it bombed. I was getting like 10, 15 views per video. I was like, this sucks.
Was this the stock channel, or was this something else?
No, this was before that.
Oh, okay.
So, my people look at me, they think I'm an overnight success. I'm not. I had a ton of failure before that. I was just able to use all those failures to find success quickly, right? And so what ended up happening is a few months go in, we're getting towards the end of 2020 now. And I noticed that a lot of people were starting to get into the stock market, starting to invest. And I started thinking about it. And I was like, I used to work for Merrill Lynch and Morgan Stanley, probably got some experience. I could help people out. And so I was in some online forums full of all these young traders, and I just asked them straight up, if I started a YouTube channel, would you watch it? And everyone's like, yes. So I decided to start the YouTube channel and used every single bit of guerrilla marketing and tactics that I had learned and threw everything into that YouTube channel starting in January of 2021. And
Mhm.
by April of 2021, I was making so much money. I had actually made more money than I was making in my six-figure job. So I quit my job
Wow.
and just went YouTube full time.
Wow.
Yeah, it was awesome. I'll tell you this though. A lot of people think it was easy, like it was some lucky thing. It was not. I'm telling you right now, I was working at that job 9 hours a day. So 8 hours of work plus lunch break, whatever, and there for 9 hours,
Mhm.
plus commute to and from 10 hours a day at the job. And then I would come home every single night and put 6 to 8 hours of work into the YouTube channel. I was literally getting 3 to 4 hours of sleep every single night. And I did that for 3 straight months. So
Oh my
for three
goodness.
months, I was getting 3 to 4 hours sleep every night, working my butt off. It seems like it was an overnight success, but a lot of people don't realize how much work and effort I had to put into it to make that happen.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people just don't see the behind the scenes, and that's one of the reasons we created this podcast is so people can relate more to YouTubers and the struggles that they have to go through. And so I'm glad that you brought up you had a couple of failures before you started this first channel that was successful because I think everyone starts a YouTube channel and it goes nowhere, and so it's I don't know what the word is, but I guess kind of a relief that you're not the only one that's experienced that. So,
Well, I see it a lot as starting to work out. You have a lot of people that January comes around, they make New Year's resolutions, they decide to join a gym. And what ends up happening is for the first 2 weeks after you join a gym, you're not seeing any results. You're
mhm,
just tired, you're exhausted, your body hurts. And a lot of people quit. And then if you stick with it for another 2 weeks, you get to about the 4 week point, you're still not seeing any change in your body, but you are noticing that you're starting to lift a little bit more weight, got a little bit more energy. And at that point, if people are like, man, I've been out this 4 weeks, I'm not seeing any change in my body, this sucks, and they quit. It's the people that stick with it past all that pain, all that startup hurt, all those difficulties that finally see that body transformation. YouTube is the exact same way. Those first 10 videos you upload, nobody's going to watch them because YouTube will not start promoting your channel until you have 10 videos up because they need to figure out what is your upload schedule, what is your customer base, what is your topic. And it takes 10 videos for them to figure that out before the algorithm starts pumping your videos out to other YouTubers and you start growing. And a lot of people in those first 10 videos, they get so down, they get so depressed because they get like 0 or 1 views per video. And like a high growth channel might get 10 or 15 views per video in those first 10. And people don't stay consistent with it because they just don't see the value in it. And then YouTube's like, well, they're not consistent. So we're just not going to promote them even after they get past 10 videos. And it's
mhm,
really, really hard, but you have to have a long term viewpoint and a long term mindset if you're going to be successful on YouTube. And those starting out, everybody's channel sucks. I mean, even Mr.
mhm.
Beast went years without any viewers on his channel, but he
Yeah,
stuck with it. And now look where he is today.
yeah, definitely. I don't know what your thoughts on this are, but I feel like maybe there was back when YouTube was beginning, there may have been like a gold rush um, type feeling with YouTube, and so even if you didn't have the greatest videos or weren't consistent, there was more people coming to the platform because it was like new and exciting. And so I feel like back then it was easier to grow randomly, I guess. But now I feel like you said, you have to have a certain number of videos, you have to be consistent. YouTube has to see that you're putting in the effort in order to grow. So
It's true, but it's also a blessing because there are
mhm,
significantly more people on YouTube now than there used to be. So yeah, back in the wild, wild west, you could just throw any random video up there, it would get views, but you capped out pretty fast.
Mhm.
Today, it's a lot harder to get started. There's a lot more competition. But if you can do the right things and get started, you will grow your channel so much faster than you ever could before. I mean, back when YouTube was first coming out, you get to 3, 4 million subscribers and you were top dog. That was like the
Mhm.
most amazing achievement ever. Now people are hitting 300, 400 million subscribers. So the number of people on YouTube is exponentially larger and you can grow so much faster today. It just takes a lot more work and effort and energy to get started.
Yeah, definitely. I actually wanna jump back just a little bit. So you mentioned, you know, you started this stock channel and it just, like, did super well, and you started making more money than at your regular job. Was there a moment when you're like, "You know what? I'm gonna just go all in YouTube?" Was it when you started making more money than your previous job, or was there a moment before then that you're like, "Hey, I wanna do this full time?"
I made that decision before I started the channel.
Mm,
So a lot of people don't realize this. A lot of people treat YouTube as a hobby. You cannot. YouTube has to be a business. And you have to have a plan in place before you start your channel of what that's going to look like. So before I even started my channel, I knew what I was going to talk about. I knew how long the videos were going to be. And I knew when I was going to upload, how often I was going to upload. I had the whole thing planned out before I ever started the channel. It was a decision before I started that I was going to be successful in this and go full time. Now,
mm.
personally, I thought it was going to take about 3 or 4 years to get there. Never expected it to take 3 or 4 months. So that in itself was a blessing. But I also realized that I had gained a lot of experience from my first failure that I was then able to use on the new channel.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So you have a couple channels. I think you're the first creator we've talked to that has specifically said that they have multiple channels. You know, I'm sure someone we've talked to has like a side channel that they don't really talk about. But what do you do to like manage multiple channels? Are you like a one man band? Do you outsource to people to help you out? I guess how do you handle multiple channels?
I think the simple answer is I don't. It's overwhelming.
Hmm.
Way, way, way too much work for one person. I have a number of channels because I've got a lot of passions that are kind of side projects, side passions. And so for me, 5 of my channels are all side projects, side passions. I don't really care if they grow or not. I have been able to use the same types of things I learned from being successful on those other channels, such as one channel that got monetized after 3 videos, which is just unheard of.
Wow.
But I don't really focus on those channels. I just kind of upload there sporadically because they're just for fun. I'm just recording things with my kids, and hiking and trips, and just different things like that,
Hmm.
different vacations I take. So and there are definitely ways of monetizing those and being highly successful. It's just not where I want to focus my time and effort and energy. I don't think anybody can really do more than about 2 channels really, really well. And every single YouTuber out there has got one main channel and then 1 or 2 side channels. And that's about it because you just cannot do more than that. I don't care how big your team is, it's just not possible. Now, as far as team wise, I was solo for the entire first year, but
Hmm.
I do want to be very clear that I had a lot of help, but I had to go out and seek that help, find that help. And one of the things that really helped me grow fast was doing collaborations with other YouTubers. So there was another finance YouTuber called Zip Trader. He had, I think, 300,000 subscribers at the time when I was first starting out, and I was posting in his community. He allowed me to, and promoting my videos in there. We also worked with another YouTuber called Stock Up with Larry Jones. He has over 600,000 subscribers. Worked with Stock Mo with over 600,000 subscribers. And later, a guy named Stocks Up with Josh, who was just starting out. But and I worked with Tom Nash also, and just going on different channels and guesting on there and doing live streams together. It really helped grow my channel because it got a lot of views on my channel that I otherwise would not have been able to get.
Mm.
So it's, we talk about a team, and a lot of times you think about like an employee. I have 0 employees, but I got a lot of contractors and I've got a lot of YouTubers that I collaborate with.
Yeah, I think that's smart. We haven't talked a ton on this show about collaborations, but I totally agree that it's a super helpful tool, especially if you're, working with someone that has a larger audience than you, and can give you that exposure. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really important. And I encourage small creators to do it as well. One of my collaborations with a large YouTuber pulled in 7,000 subscribers in one video. So it's
Wow.
very, very powerful. But as a smaller creator with a few hundred subscribers, go out, find other YouTubers in your niche and agree to do video collaborations together. You go on their channel and they'll promote you, and then you bring them on your channel, you promote them, and just work together to grow each other's channels. It doesn't have to be this super competitive you against me type of thing. Like, work with other people, have friends, and have fun with it.
Yeah. YouTube has a feature now. I don't know if you know about this, but it's a collaboration feature. So it's like tagging someone on a social post, but in the, I don't know if it's the title, but like it shows both channels made this video, which I think is pretty cool. Have you used
It
that
is.
feature yet? Or,
I have not personally used it. It didn't quite fit into the things I was doing, but I've definitely got my eye on it. YouTube has absolutely made collaborating a lot easier.
Mhm.
But I think finding other people in your niche to collaborate with is probably the hardest part. You can
Yeah.
obviously get anybody's email address on YouTube, but if they're like me and they're getting 100 emails a day, they're probably deleting it. So
Yeah.
going out in person to different networking events around the country, all you got to do is look in your niche and find networking events in your industry, and you'll find other content creators there. And then if that doesn't work, just go to something like VidCon. There's thousands of creators there,
Mhm.
and just network.
Yep. Network, network, network.
Yes. I mean, again, you got to treat it like a business, not a YouTube channel.
Yeah. So, this kind of goes along with networking, maybe for you because you work with, you mentioned contractors, but what is your process for making videos in terms of like coming up with ideas, shooting, editing, uploading, all of that kind of stuff? What is your process?
So it doesn't matter what niche you're in, the process is the same. You have to research a particular topic, you've got to script write, then you got to record, then you got to edit, then you got to upload. Now, before you actually create the script, you should be creating a title and thumbnail. And this is where a lot of people get kind of mixed up. Most people will create their title and thumbnail at the end, right before they upload,
Mhm.
but you really should be creating that title and thumbnail before you even write your script. So what I do is I go through and I will do all my research and I'll figure out what topic I'm going to talk about. Then I'll figure out a title and thumbnail that will really capture people's attention and get people to click. And then I'll write the script around that. And another little secret I'll give you, I've got a lot of little secrets. So, a little secret I'll give you is your very first frame in your video should be your thumbnail. And the
Oh,
reason for
really?
that actually has nothing to do with YouTube. It has to do with the fact that if you end up cross posting on places like X or Rumble or other places, they don't necessarily post your thumbnail. So by putting that thumbnail in the first
Mm.
frame, as people are scrolling through, they'll actually see your thumbnail, and that will actually allow more people to click on it rather than just seeing, your face like you are
Oh,
right now.
that is awesome. I haven't heard of that before. That's cool. Definitely
Yeah, I
will
got
have to
that tip
try
from
that.
Mr. Beast.
Oh, yeah? Nice. I have heard of that with, shorts because, shorts weren't, I mean, you can kind of customize them, but you can't really upload a thumbnail for shorts. But if you edit the thumbnail in the first frame and then upload it and then edit the video after you upload it and cut it out, then it'll, like, keep the first frame as a the
Yeah, that
thumbnail,
concept
but
actually came from shorts. So
oh,
that
okay.
concept came from people posting on TikTok and Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts. And now it's been applied to long form videos as well because of these other platforms like X.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess I kind of want to dive a little bit more into the details. Like, do you use any tools for script writing, or do you like use Fiverr for like contractors, or what? I guess more. Can you give me more, I guess, specifics on what you personally do with your videos?
That's wow, that's a big question.
If you don't feel comfortable, that's okay too.
Yeah, we'll go through it step by step. So start with the research. For me personally, research is a number of different things. One, I'm researching what's kind of hot in my industry. So since I talk about stocks, I'll go on different platforms like Webull. Let's talk about the most talked about stocks. I'll look at usually a top 10 there. I'll go on Reddit, see what people are talking about there. And then I'll even search YouTube and just type in stocks and kind of see what videos pop up.
Mhm.
Second thing is I'm looking for anything that's currently viral. So if there's some big news story that just came out that's kind of taking off, I'll go into the trends in Google and I'll look at the trends and I'll try to find things that are viral that are kind of taking off. And then the final thing I do is I go to other YouTubers. I've got about 30 different channels I look at. I'll just sort by their latest videos and I'll see if any of their videos kind of stand out. So maybe they're getting 10,000 views, 11,000 views, 8,000 views, 50,000 views. Okay.
Mhm.
What is it about that video that did so well? And so those are the three ways I do research. I'm looking in industry, what's popular. I'm looking for viral, and I'm looking for other YouTubers and what they did that worked. And then from there, I'll pick something. And then I got to go figure out the title and thumbnail that is going to work. It's going to make it pop. I've got about 50 different templates for titles that I've picked up from different people over time. Most of those came from Mr. Beast. A few of those came from a few other content creators. And it's just a template of 50 different titles. And then I kind of modify it in order to fit it in. And then I've got tools like Thumbalytics that will actually preview your title and thumbnail on all kinds of different screens.
Mm.
I focus on cell phones. I try to make sure that title and thumbnail fits well on cell phones. And then once all that's done, I've got it. I'm ready to go. I'm like, yeah, that's a topic people will click on. Then I start script writing.
Mhm.
And for script writing, I use Notepad. I don't care. I'm
Yeah,
literally just creating bullet points of things that I'm going to talk about.
yeah.
Then I will go through and grab screenshots, all my B rolls. I want to go figure out what are my B rolls going to be. And I want to get some of those B rolls that are going to be informational, but I want some B rolls that are going to be funny as well, little jokes thrown in there and just things to keep people entertained. Because at the end of the day, as much as YouTube is a business and it's an educational platform, it's an entertainment platform. And
Mhm.
nobody's going to watch you unless they're being entertained. I have found some unbelievably smart people who have created YouTube channels that will get on there and they'll be like, hello, today we're going to talk about the nuclear physics of space engineering.
Yeah,
And it's like, dude, you are smart like crazy, but you are so boring.
yeah.
And so you have to remember that the most important thing that people want when they're watching YouTube videos is to be entertained.
Mhm.
And so I will take a very entertaining aspect when it comes to my videos just to keep people engaged and watching till the end. The biggest metric YouTube is focusing on right now is watch time. So I've got to do everything I can to get that watch time up. And the way I do that is I'll throughout my intro, which directly relates to that title and thumbnail, I'll usually repeat it in those the first 5 seconds. And then I'll go into a little bit about what we're going to talk about, sort of a stick around to the end, and you'll get, the information you're looking for. I'll tell a little bit about who I am and why people should trust me, talk a little bit about my experience with Merrill Lynch and Morgan Stanley. And then I'll go into the video. Now, any sponsorships or anything I'm selling or promoting, I throw it into the middle. Because what a lot of people make the mistake of doing is at the end of their video, they'll throw in their little sponsorship or sales pitch or whatever. And they will, say, please like and subscribe. And then the video drops off and they get this
Mhm.
massive drop off at the end. And I don't want that. I want people watching to the end to get the watch time up. So I'll throw the promo in the middle so that people continue watching because they still want the information coming on later. So
Mhm.
that's a trick there with the recording. And then I got to go into editor, and I've been using Adobe Rush, but I guess that's going away and I'm going to be forced to use Premiere Pro now. So I'm going to learn a slightly new program, but that's what I use to edit. When I first started out, I used Lightworks because it was way cheaper. And I know a lot of people use Final Cut Pro, but you definitely want to use some sort of professional editing software to make the videos look good and get rid of all the positives and things like that. And then, there's a whole thing that goes into the studio setup, the lighting, the cameras, the microphones, all this stuff. I mean, I've got probably $10,000 worth of equipment I'm sitting in front of right now,
Nice.
but you don't need that when you're first starting out. I mean, when I first started out, I was literally on my cell phone. So you don't
Mhm.
really need a lot. Just a tripod and a cell phone is good enough. And actually, a lot of people aren't even using tripods anymore. So it's really about how entertaining you can be and whether or not you can get people to watch your video to the end. It's not really about the equipment you have.
Mhm.
Now, once that video is edited and it's ready to upload, I will put it up on YouTube. When it comes to the description at the very, very top, I write my descriptions like those real old emails that were just chock full of keywords and made no sense whatsoever to a reader. Nobody ever reads the descriptions. So I use that for SEO. And what I'll do is I will use different tools to try to find out, like Morning Fame is the biggest one that I use. I've got a few other tools that I use as well that I will go in and figure out what are the keywords I need to do. I'll go into Google Trends. I'll type in the topic of my video, real short, 1 or 2 words, and see what everybody's searching for, and literally just copy and paste all those. And then I'll add them into some way that kind of sort of sounds like a sentence. So it'll be things like, today's video, we're going to talk about XYZ stock explained with the XYZ stock analysis and XYZ stock prediction and stock price prediction that you've always wanted. And it's
Yeah.
ridiculous, but it works. And I have had so many videos that have blown up from search engine results just because of the description.
Mhm.
And then I'll get it all uploaded. I will not publish right away. I actually wait for all the checks to go through to make sure I'm not going to get a content strike. Once all that's done and everything's approved, we're good to go, then I will publish. Now, in some of the YouTube uploads, you've got to really customize those. There's a whole set of things you've got to customize. It would take way longer than this podcast to explain. But
Yeah.
basically, you've got to unlock that video. And so allow other people to copy the content, allow other people to talk about it, allow other people to mention it. Don't worry about copyright. Just completely unlock the video. And that will allow other people to use it. Because again, that video is just there for entertainment. Don't worry about trying to copyright it. Open it up freely for other people to use. And you'll get a lot more views because of that. And then finally, once it is uploaded, I'll take that same video, upload to other platforms on X, Rumble, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever. Now, the key there is you have to upload the video on those platforms. Don't just link to your YouTube video because it won't get as many views.
Mhm.
So go to X, upload the video on X, not a link to YouTube. Go to Facebook, upload the video on Facebook, not a link to YouTube, and do
Mhm.
all that. So that's all what it takes. And then, of course, the marketing comes, right? So
Mhm.
after that, you got to market. Now, when I first starting out, it was guerrilla marketing. I was going into Facebook. I was going into different Facebook communities. I was going into Reddit, and I was promoting my video in a way, trying not to sound too spammy. Although there was one, I went into Wall Street Bets with a account that it was kind of throwaway account. I knew I was going to get banned, and I posted the video. It got like 300 subscribers in 5 minutes, and then I got banned. It's like, yeah, it was worth it. And
That's funny.
so you gotta, kind of pick your battles. But
Yeah.
it's a lot of work. But when you're first starting out, people think, okay, I'm just gonna go upload it and see how it goes. It's not gonna go well. You've got to plan it out. You got to think about it. You really, really got to put every ounce of effort and energy into it. And I want to be
Mhm.
clear, my first video sucked. They were bad.
Everyone's are.
But one thing Mr. B said that I really appreciated, he said, every single video, just focus on making it a little bit better than the last. And that's what I did. Every single video, I just made a little bit better than the last. Tweak the audio a little bit, tweak the camera settings a little bit, tweak the lighting a little bit, tweak the thumbnail a little bit, tweak the title a little bit, tweak the description, tweak the intro. Every single video, just trying to make it a little bit better than the last. And, each video in the beginning was really bad, but you fast forward 3-4 years later and it's a night and day difference. And
Mhm.
it was because of one small improvement every single video.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that, Scott. I that was a lot of information, but that's really helpful. I'm fairly familiar with that, but not all of our listeners might be familiar with the entire upload process. And it's interesting to hear the specific tools that you use because although the mostly uploading and sharing is pretty much the same among all YouTubers, like each one uses slightly different tools and has a slightly different process. So I appreciate you sharing that, and that's really helpful for our listeners. So I've got just a couple more questions for you, and these are ones that we typically ask all of our guests. Kind of more about your advice, which you've already given some great advice, which is awesome. But the first one is about mistakes. Has there been one specific mistake that you learned from that you wish you knew beforehand that you think would be beneficial to our listeners?
No, not at all. There's probably been 100 mistakes, definitely not just one. Uh,
Maybe
this
the top one or
this is
top
the
couple.
thing about starting a YouTube channel that causes a lot of people to freeze because they think they need all this information. And, I provided a ton of information about different software and uploading all this stuff.
Mhm,
Basically, ignore everything I just said and just get started.
mhm,
The biggest thing that stops people from being successful is analysis paralysis, meaning they sit there and they think about it nonstop and they're trying to plan it out and they just never get anywhere. They don't even start. So just get started. Nobody's going to watch your first 10 videos anyway. So who cares if they suck? Just get them up there and do it on a consistent schedule. Now, what I've found is you need to do it 3 days a week. And what those 3 days are entirely your choice. But if you do more than that, you tend to kind of shoot yourself in the foot because people don't tend to watch. If you do less than that, you're not really consistent enough for YouTube to promote you. So the ideal number of uploads is 3 per week. If you can commit to
mhm,
that, I don't care how bad your videos are, just do 3 a week, your video will take off and your channel will do well. But I think the biggest mistake of all that YouTubers make when they're first starting out is they are 100% focused on getting monetized. And
mm,
that is the biggest mistake people can make. My first month on YouTube, I made over $5,000. Only 500 of it was from YouTube ad revenue. All of the other money was affiliate links.
mm,
I found different things my audience would be interested in. I set up affiliate links and then I promoted those on my YouTube channel, told people to go click in the description. I pinned them as the first comment. And that's how I made my money when I was first starting out. I contacted Zip Trader who had a course. I didn't have a course, I was just starting. I contacted Zip Trader course, said, hey, can I sign up as an affiliate? It's like, sure. I posted my affiliate link there and it made a ton of money off of that. So you don't have to sit there and wait for sponsorship deals and wait to get monetized. That's the biggest mistake people make. Go from day one, start promoting affiliate links with things that would connect with your audience, and you'll start making money from day one long before you're monetized. But more than anything else, just get started. What I found in teaching people how to start YouTube channels is most of them don't need information. For the most part, they know what to do.
mhm,
What most people need is motivation. And I was able to quit a 6-figure job in 3 months. I made 5,000 my first month, 8,000 my second month, 12,000 my third month. If I can do it with a stupid guy like me with a 2.5 GPA, you can certainly do it too. You just got to get started.
that's awesome. Great advice. And I've got one more final question that kind of goes along with that one. But are there any myths about YouTube that you'd like to bust?
I think the biggest myth about YouTube is that it's easy. A lot of people see these large YouTubers, they see people like me who seemingly had overnight success, and they think it's
Mhm.
easy. You're just going to upload a video and find success. And unfortunately, it's not. It's hard, really hard. And it takes a ton of research, a ton of time, effort, energy in order to do a really good job on YouTube and grow your channel. But if you're willing to put in that time, effort, and energy, then the rewards are absolutely insane. You'll make more money than you've ever made before in your life. You'll have the time freedom to spend time with your family. It is absolutely unbelievable. However, you got to be willing to put in the work and effort to make it happen. That's the thing about YouTube these days. It's not easy anymore. And that's why so few people are successful. But at the same time, it's also why those who are successful have more success than they've ever had before in their lives. And there's an old saying that if you do the things that are hard, you'll have an easy life. If you do the things that are easy, you'll have a hard life. So go put in the hard work to learn YouTube, get your channel started and make it amazing, and you'll have a wonderful, easy life.
Great advice. Really like that. Yeah, Scott, thanks for being on the show. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. I'd love teaching people about this stuff.
Yeah. So you've got your YouTube channels. Do you have like a common handle, or are you on any of the other major social media platforms if our listeners want to follow you?
I have a common website. Well, I have one website, faithroar.com. Faithroar.com is where you can go if you want to start a business, learn how to do that, learn how to become financially free. Faithroar.com is where you can go if you want to learn how to start a YouTube channel and find success there. And faithroar.com is where you can go if you want to learn how to invest in the stock market and make money trading stocks and options. Faithroar.com is the website to go to for everything you need to be successful.
Okay, awesome. So make sure to check out Scott's website, and thank you for checking out this episode. If you want to see more content like this, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you need help with making videos, feel free to check us out at creatorlux.com, and we'll see you in the next one.